So we'll go ahead and get started. We are now getting into essentially the precipice of what Bodyline Cares is all about. So we had Peter speaking on 2 Tuesdays in a row about social entrepreneurship and about compassionate consumption, and essentially how we as Bodyline are going to take Steve's vision and take it out to the community and really start touching people's lives in a dramatic way. Not just because of their health and wellness, but we also wanted to impact our communities, our churches, and our cities at the same time. So, Peter, I'm going to go ahead and go on mute. That way your video will be captured on your lovely face, my friend, and I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Josh. Before you go on mute, make sure I'm coming through.
You sound great, man.
Okay, awesome. Well, this really is a milestone day. You know, there's no joking about that, because you're going to hear something right now that can have such a profound impact on your life. You know, over the last Tuesdays, we've done no hype. You know, it has been substance through and through. Probably more substance than you have heard or that has been said in 30 years of this traditional calls on this industry. So when we say that right now, you're going to have there's going to be a profound impact on your life and on the lives of everyone you know, and beyond that, even globally, we're not kidding. See, something happens when a company takes a stand. Something happens when a company takes a stand for authentic communication, for authentic relationship, for transparency. We're about to disrupt, I love that word, we're about to disrupt some industry standards. You know, we're disrupting the standards of me first and business as usual, and we're taking a stand against shallow and surface relationships. You know what? We're taking a stand against the entitlement culture because we believe that we can empower the world through entrepreneurship, and specifically through social entrepreneurship. You know, we've been talking about it for 2 weeks. At some point today, go on to CNN.com, and on the very front page in the middle, today, of CNN.com, it says, people who are changing the world. You click on it, and it is an entire article beginning saying, social entrepreneurs are changing the world. Just today. So, you know, it's just interesting. Timing, when things come together, I love it how the A-Team used to say, I love it when a plan comes together. We believe we can empower the world through social entrepreneurship. Listen to me. That you do not have to rely on others for your God-given destiny to achieve that. We're announcing right now an alliance. Man, I just hate hype, but I don't know how else to say this. We're announcing an alliance that's going to rock the foundation of the industry, because it's going to prove who we are, what we stand for. So very quickly, let me recap what is social entrepreneurship. It's using for-profit principles to solve social global issues. Social entrepreneurship empowers ordinary people like you and me to achieve extraordinary things. And there are 4 elements. Every entrepreneur has the first 2 in common. We see a problem, and we tap into or create the solution. But social entrepreneurs beyond that also tap into people's passions, and here's the key, incentivize them to help. Now, because it's all 4 elements, Bodyline is perfectly aligned to become the premier company in this new industry, this globally changing industry called social entrepreneurship. See, this problem of entitlement and sickness and just too many to mention, the problem, this worldwide culture of entitlement, and the problem of children thinking they're worthless, isn't it time we change that? Well, guess what? We have a solution. And we know that it's not giving people a fish and feeding them for a day. Beyond that, we know the solution isn't even teaching people to fish so you can feed them for a lifetime, as Covey said. But it's time to go beyond that and realize the solution is teaching people to teach others. So right now, we are officially launching Body Aligned Cares and launching our strategic alliance with one of the world's great social entrepreneurship organizations that has taken on a specific challenge and, frankly, doing more to beat it. I love it. You can understand why I use that specific word in a few seconds than any other organization in the world. We are announcing our strategic alliance with the premier anti-bullying and youth development organization called My Life, My Power. You've seen what's going on all over the media, all over the news with children. It breaks all our hearts committing suicide because they're being bullied, children growing up and dropping out of schools and using drugs and just the worst things of the worst because bullying has gotten out of hand and their characters aren't being developed. We are officially aligned. I love it. Body Align is aligning with the premier organization in the world fighting this, called My Life, My Power, and its founder, Daniel Puder. Now, I'm not going to tell his story because I want him to do that. He's such a dear friend, and I want Daniel to share this. But I will say this. He's an undefeated MMA fighter. Those of you who know me, you already know I taught him everything he knows in that arena. Yeah, right. You open that giant book. I love that, Steve. But
Thanks,
really,
Coach.
You open that great book of Jewish athletes. That's one small book, right? It's a pretty thin book. Nonetheless, Daniel's an undefeated MMA fighter. He was the winner of WWE's $1 million Tough Enough Challenge. But now he is dedicated. When I say dedicated, I've worked with him. Traveling the world, getting next to no sleep. This guy is dedicated to changing the lives of children around the country and around the world. Beyond that, by doing so, enhancing our neighborhoods. He's a dear friend. I'm so proud and honored to introduce him. But before you hear from him, I want you to watch this short video. Play the video. Let's watch Daniel in action.
I'm the Terminator with a loaded gun. God in the world gone wrong. I'm the king of pain for the lies undone. I'm the rising sword for the rising sound. I'm the way of the future and you all fall down.
Yeah, you can't even go off the ropes. I mean, there's a cage, 6 foot, 7 foot cage, and you're stuck. You gotta, forgive me, you got a pretty face, you got things that's still in order. Well, they punch me all the time. But, I try to keep my hands up and stay away. It doesn't hurt.
Thanks for having me on today, guys. I appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. As going through my fighting life, I really enjoyed training. I started when I was 16 years old, and I actually got into a little bit of trouble when I was a kid, and figured out I never wanted to fight on the street or get in trouble. And so I met this guy named Frank Shamrock, who was a 5-time UFC champ. He took me under his wing, and he told me he would train me for free if I didn't do 3 things. I said, sure, no problem. What were they? He said, no fighting, no drinking, and no drugs. And I said, no problem, let's go. I showed up to the first day of practice, and he beat me up. I showed up to the second day of practice. He beat me up again. And he continued doing this, but what I learned was, besides my body getting beat up every single day and being sore, was I learned that I learned how to learn. I learned how to change my mindset so that I could become as successful as possible. I learned how to go through struggles and trials, and because they would stick 5 fresh guys, 5 minutes per guy on me, and I would spar 25 minutes. So by the end of the 25 minutes, I would be the last guy. I would be exhausted, of course, and the guy would just be hitting me in the face. It wouldn't feel too good. But what I did was I learned how to relax my mind and focus in on my long-term vision and goals for my life. With pro wrestling, I got on WWE, and I really enjoyed going from city to city. Getting to travel was fun. But what I really enjoyed was one of my coaches came to me and said one day, he goes, it's better to be respected than liked and not respected. And I thought about this, and I really started basing my whole entire life and what I did and why I did everything based upon people respecting me. I also want them to like me and build relationships. But if somebody respects you, you can get a lot farther in life. And so looking back at all that, I think every single day still today about the challenges I went through in my life. When I was a kid, I was in special ed. They categorized me as special ed because I had learning disabilities. The difference is that I just didn't learn like everybody else. I learned with my hands. I learned while doing something physical. And they wanted me to read. They wanted me to write. They wanted me to read out loud. Let me tell you, when I read out loud, it didn't do so well. Not only that, but the kids teased me. They picked on me every single day. I was, as you would say, this big boned kid. And then I went to the special ed classes too, because my comprehension rate was just a little bit slower than everybody else. So when I worked out or when I did sports, I was okay. But when I really got a mentor in my life, which was one of my coaches, I really started to excel. The 3 things that took me from being that special ed kid and not doing so well in school to an undefeated fighter, winner of $1 Million Tough Enough Championship, and also the executive director of My Life, My Power, were 3 things. It was hope, a plan, and a friend. And the hope was installed intrinsically based upon my parents and my coaches and the people around me. The plan was laid out by the people that loved me and that were around me. They showed me how to get through school. They showed me how to get into sports and how to train hard. Frank Shamrock and different coaches I've had, they showed me how to never give up and how to get to your end goal and your vision. And the friend was my mentors. It was the people that loved me and cared about me. It was the people that took time out of their schedule to really give me advice about life. And it wasn't just knowledge they gave me, it was wisdom. They gave me, I talk about wisdom and knowledge a lot. It's the experiences which are the wisdom. It's the knowledge is factual information. So growing up being bullied and being picked on and it didn't feel good every day. It hurt. I literally, and I was a keynote speaker last year of the California PTA. I literally told them one thing that I've never told before. When I was in 5th grade, I stayed home for about 5.5 weeks. and the doctor said it was growing pain. But it got to me so bad that they picked on me so bad that I just didn't want to go to school. And so going back and looking at how somebody can be so mean and so hurtful every single day, you know, if you've ever gone through it, you know what it feels like. And today we launched My Life, My Power because about 3 years ago, somebody asked me on Facebook what I thought about kids committing suicide over being bullied. Now, I never thought about committing suicide, but I did not want to go to school. I did not want to be around those people, and it really hurt. I said on national TV, I said on TMZ and a bunch of other TV shows, I said, I will come to your school if you're being bullied. And they looked at me, and you know, my buddies looked at me and they said, holy smokes, how many emails do you think you're going to get? Within 8 weeks, we got over 10,000 emails from 12 different countries, from 3 different types of people. The first were kids saying, I'm being thrown in trash cans, I'm being beat up, I'm being, you know, cyberbullied, I'm being, you know, just every single issue. I mean, it was pretty bad. Parents were telling me that their kid is, you know, being put down and teased every day and picked on and pushed and put in lockers. And then the adults that didn't have kids, that were older now, said, if you were at my school, I would have felt safe. I needed somebody when I was a kid to protect me. And so I thought about this. I said, let's really figure out why people are doing what they're doing. Now, my brother's a psychiatrist now, and he's an amazing, amazing brother. He's actually one of my mentors. He's a younger brother, but he's a mentor to me. And I looked at what was going on with our kids today. I said, let's go out and ask thousands of kids. Let's get their input on how they want direction in life and what are their challenges. So I started going around to schools across the country, and we partner with National Police Activities League, a great after-school program. And I asked the kids, here's, on an assembly, I said, here is paper and pens on the stage, about halfway in between the assembly. Come up and tell me your biggest challenge. And I got about 80% of kids that came up, wrote something down, and went back to their seats. I had my team start going through them. And my team was looking at picking out the most extreme ones, because what I wanted is I wanted people to see what exactly was really going on with kids around the country. Now, when I started reading these, they were some of the worst things that I've ever seen in my life. Not only were they worse, but I actually stopped doing this because some of the principals around the country were freaking out. I mean, they were literally freaking out. I'm going to just show you one real quick. This is one right here. It says, I was raped by my dad for 6 years. I fight with my mom. I drink and cut myself to hide the pain of what others do to me. I am bullied for being raped. And we have hundreds of these that just go through. I suffer from depression and go through life with a struggle. I will be okay. So I look at all of these thousands of letters that I got from kids. These were their challenges. And the worst one I ever heard was this kid said, my dad beat me up so bad, he broke his foot on my face. And I just couldn't take it after a while. This was nuts to see this stuff. I said, we have to change something. I looked at what a lot of the school organizations and people in the communities were doing. And what they were doing is they were going out and talking about bullying. Don't bully, don't do drugs, don't join a gang, don't. And I look at, you know, and I've asked kids, do you like to hear don't or do you like to hear do? And kids go, I like to hear do. So I started asking them, hey, you know, would you want to get involved with a program that can show you how to get from where you're at to where you want to go in life? Instead of telling you don't, how about we lead them to the do? So I started looking around. I talked to my brother, and we have family therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, a part of our program. And I started looking around, and I asked them, how do you guys change the mindset? Like, you're the professionals. When somebody, let's say, gets a cut, they go to a doctor if they need stitches. If somebody, has challenges mentally, somebody breaks up with them, whatever it is, they lose a job, they don't go sit down with somebody and talk about their issues. So it's interesting because if you break an arm or need surgery, you're going to go to a doctor right away. So my brother and a bunch of other guys and women, they said that all we do is one approach, and you guys can all check this approach out. It's called motivational interviewing. And the approach is that we can change the mindset based upon asking questions. So instead of saying no or don't, all we do is lead them to the right direction and ask them the right thing. So one of the things I ask kids are, what are 10 qualities you want in a mentor? And I would love to hear from every single one of you. I'll give you my email after this. But 10 qualities you want in a mentor. Now, every single kid has written down, I want somebody loving, caring, honest, on time, successful. There's no kid that's ever said, I want somebody to beat me up or sell me crack or jump me into a gang. Or there's nothing negative. They don't want that. But you can see where the difference is, who their mentors are, what city they live in. And so we've created this program called My Life, My Power, which you guys will send you a bunch of information on. But the gist of it is running the kids through a series of questions and topics, including goal setting and how to find mentors and leadership and fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, even personal branding, which is this month we're doing Personal Branding Month, resume building, everything they need to get from where they're at to where they want to go in the future. So that's how we started it. That's the direction we're taking it. And within the last few years, we're now in 32 states. We're in 6 countries, and we're training people like the Miami-Dade School Police Department. We started training them last week. We partnered with Chief Ian Moffat out there. We partnered with Chief Zipperman of the LA Unified School District. So there's different chiefs across the country that we're training to then have their officers roll our program out with kids so that we can change the mindset of the kids. Now, because see, everybody goes after the bullying, drugs, and alcohol, and what they do is they give a flyer, they give a poster, maybe have a 30-minute speaker. Do you guys remember those 30-minute speakers, in school? Everybody had them. But the key isn't to just give somebody a flyer or a poster. I've asked everybody, has anybody ever seen a flyer and a poster or a 30-minute speaker change the mindset of your kids for a year, for 2 years, for 5 years? I'm still trying to look for that poster, so if anybody knows, please send it to me. I want to print a few million. But what we want to do is we wanted to get down to the root issue and change the mindset. And so one of the things we've done is looking at what Body Align is doing to go out and help the community, to look at what Body Align is doing to bring health and wellness to the community is one of the biggest things, because if you feel healthy, if you feel well, you're going to feel better to go back into school, or as a parent, you're going to feel better to be able to spend more time with your kids, to be able to work and come home and mentor them. We've now partnered with the President's Council on Fitness Nutrition. I was out at the White House a few months back. We partnered with Michelle Obama's program, so every kid can get a certificate for going through a 6-week workout and nutrition course that they provide. We've also partnered with Nova Southeastern University. So every kid that goes through our program that has a 2.6 or above that finishes a few essays for the university can get 3 units of free university credit. And so our goal is to create more of a vision in the kids' minds and create direction so that we can keep them on track. Bodyline is the perfect fit for us, and I'll tell you why. Because I went down and I saw them in Dallas. I saw how it worked. I saw what was going on with even my blood. I saw that my team, I gave my Life, My Power team the Bodyline product to have them try it, and every single one of them loved it. They slept better with the sleeping. Jackson actually woke up the next day and he's like, holy smokes, I slept amazing last night. Then he went to play volleyball, and he goes, I can't believe it, this energy. I have more energy than I've ever had. So to be able to see what even my own team is doing, I got behind the product. So the personal, personally, I want to change the world. I want to change the world one kid at a time, one parent at a time, one person at a time. But together, Bodyline MLMP, we can start changing not only one person at a time, but we can start changing communities faster. What I found is when you touch somebody's life and change them and help them and guide them, they want to follow. They want to be mentored more. They want to be cared for, loved, and nurtured. And you can basically take these minds of these kids, instead of them watching 7.5 hours a day of TV, they would love to spend time with probably every single one of you learning about life. But it's just approach, which is what we have. We've also filmed over 350 celebrities and pro athletes for weekly videos for schools. We've audio taped about 100 of those athletes and celebrities for phone calls to parents. One school we launched this in went from about 2,500 kids at the school in Riverside, California, went from 1,100 and something kids over 1,500 kids with perfect attendance, because a celebrity calls up and it goes like this. It's like, hey, my name's Daniel Puder. I'm an undefeated mixed martial arts fighter, and I just want to tell you, you're an awesome parent. You've come to the school. Your kids come to the school 5 out of 5 days, and they're just amazing. Have them keep coming every single day. We want to help them learn. And so we do these positive messages, because the messages right now going out are saying, hey, your son or daughter didn't come to class today. We need a conference call with them. They're not doing so well. They're all the negative sides. We want to bring that positive interaction. So when the kid comes home, the parents are like, you know what, I'm really proud of you. Your school called, and we're really proud. Thank you. So I want to motivate not only the kids, but the parents. I believe that with what we're doing in the communities, and with what Bodyline long-term wants to do is they want to build a company to help people. And what we're able to do with My Life, My Power is give you guys a tool to be able to go out there, build relationships, build community involvement, pretty much change your community's mindset so that we work harder and we work together. We work longer every single day. We want to help each other get somewhere in life. And so working with Steve Lukowski and Josh and Peter, I've known Peter now for a while, and it's just amazing to be able to see his philosophies, and Steve and Josh is on changing the world. They're like, hey, we don't just want to, be a part of one little event over here, because I've seen a lot of companies do that. I've seen a lot of companies go, okay, cool, we'll donate X amount of dollars to your event. What they want to do is they want to have long-term change within communities around the world. And they want to spend their time and their effort making that long-term change instead of a one-time thing or a very short event. I know so many people out there that are doing that short-term thing, and they do it because it's great PR, it's great whatever. But at the end of the day, they don't get anywhere. Nothing changes. So with MLMP, you guys will get to go through a program. I'd love to come out and speak and train at your guys' schools around the country. But you guys will understand how to change the mindset better of kids, and how to connect, and how to change your community. Looking at the direction and my vision is this year we want to be in front of about 5 million kids by the end of the school year. And this last year we rolled it out. We're now evidence-based. We're doing third-party reviews now, and so I'm really stoked with the change and the support from what Bodyline is doing. Now, here's how you guys. This is something fun that everybody can do. We're having an event October 25th in Dallas, and I want to invite everybody out. I know not everybody's going to be able to make it, but we partnered with the Mavericks. One of the biggest things is we're doing Personal Branding Month this month. We're doing a soft launch this year, and we're going to do a hard launch next year. Personal Branding Month means two things. It means, what do you want to be? What do you want your reputation to be? What do you want to be known for? When, let's say, you walk into a room and somebody sees you and they think this is something about that person. Now, every single kid I talk to is they want to be nice, caring, loving, on time, you know, what, all the positive things. Second question I always ask is, after you meet somebody, what do you want them to say or think about you? So we want to build this whole entire movement in a positive, proactive way. We want to build it with kids starting at 0. Right when they get born, we want them. And the idea is that from 0 to 5 years old is when the subconscious is set. So if we can love our kids more and care about our kids and spend more time with them, we can literally change their subconscious so that it's easier to direct them in life. Now, it's October 25th. It's in Dallas. We have a pre-event. They're giving us a stadium for 1 hour. And we brought some speakers in. Peter's actually going to be one of the speakers, but we're going to be bringing in some really great speakers to talk about this specific topic, which is personal branding. On top of that, then everybody's going to get to stay for the game. So it's pretty awesome. It's the last preseason game. So giving us the arena for a full hour. We've been doing this from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. My Life, My Power has been in, we're not doing anything religious with the program, but churches and Christian, Catholic, different religion organizations have been picking up our program because they want that change in their youth long term. And so I want to thank you guys for, I want to thank Steve Lukowski, because sitting down with him in Dallas was really an eye-opener. And Josh too. Being able to see their vision for life. I see a lot of CEOs that care about the dollar, and that's fine. That's why we're in business. But my vision directly linked up with his. And he said, I want to make a long-term change. So I want to thank Steve. I want to thank Josh. I want to thank Peter. I'd love to be a part of everybody's community, everybody's development, and I'd love to partner with everybody on here. And I appreciate working with Bodyline so far. But you guys are going to change the world every single day. And with the Bodyline product, it's just an amazing thing. I love it. So, Steve, back to you. Do you guys have any questions for me? You want me to answer anything else specifically?
No, Daniel, that was fantastic.
Awesome.
Let's comment about our lunch together. It was so refreshing to meet a professional, somebody that's achieved what you've achieved in your professional career, and yet have the vision of giving back. Have the vision that it's not about them anymore. The power of a driven man is incredible. If I can find a way to influence that in a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old or a 55-year-old man, the power of driven spirit is unstoppable. You cannot stop it. Folks at Bodyline and Bodyline Cares and MLMP, it's about being driven and convicted. It's about creating something that your legacy is. Don't go to your maker. Don't go to your deathbed without someone looking down at you going, you did it, man. You made an impact. One person, one house, one neighborhood, one community. It's up to you to decide how big and how far you want to reach. Give me the tools of a driven man. Give me a vision for a way they can make an impact. Give me a philosophy that it's about how hard I do it, not how I got to depend on someone else. Give that to me, and we will make a gravestone that'll stand the test of time. We will make a company that our children and our children's children, we say, that company impacted our lives. Peter, I can't thank you enough about listening to me in our first meeting, about sensing in me the desire to bring something hard, something about the future. We're faced with challenges every day. I can't even begin to count on my challenges every day. Peter, you made me a driven man that day. You made me manifest what I wanted to see. You made it happen. And Daniel, when I met you, you're living my future. You're doing something today that I want to impact. I want to have everybody that's been in Body Align or is in Body Align or is thinking about being in Body Align, to live a day as a driven person. Do it one time. Do it. Set out whatever it is. Jog a mile. Walk around the block. Tell 5 people you love them. The impact of a driven man or woman is beyond anything you can comprehend. Try it. Daniel, I'm with you, man. Let's go make an impact. Let's become a fabric. Let's be important to our community. I want to see Body Align and MLMP together at car washes. I want to see them in schools. I want to see the stadium in Dallas for the Mavericks packed. I want to see Body Align people in there contributing their time and talent to provide this, to influence one person to listen to you, Daniel, to influence one other person just to decide I'm driven today. A driven man with a vision, with the tools necessary to make it, can be Sir Edmund Hillary. You have to have the tools. You have to have a vision. And more importantly, you have to have the drive. I don't care what it is you want to accomplish in life. You got enough drive, it's just yours. There are people today that don't have the born DNA to be successful. They don't have the silver spoon to help them to be successful. But by golly, they are so driven, they're going to be successful in spite of their DNA, in spite of their upbringing, in spite of having their father break their foot on their face. I want to give everybody a chance. I want to remove any barrier that's out there to give people a chance. Daniel, Peter, thank you very much for just giving me the power. You know, Daniel, I love to strike a pose like this because to me, it's powerful. Thank you. It's powerful. And we had a speaker a couple weeks ago about manifesting your destiny. And there is no longer going to be, I'm going to. I'm doing it. Every day, I'm going to find the one person that I can give a Body Align disc to and make an impact in their lives. I want one kid to come up and talk to me, or I want to go to a kid and talk to them and just give them a frame of reference about the future. I was in the airport a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to this young lady across the way, and the lady next to me said, "Be careful, you shouldn't talk to kids at an airport." And I said, "Watch this." So I started talking to her and asked her a question about math. It was really simple. I asked her to add a couple numbers together and divide it out and what have you, and she started smiling. I said, "Do you like math?" She says, "Yeah." And I said, "You want to know how it works?" And so I sat down on a napkin and drew her out how this little teaser worked. Her father was kind of leery of me a little bit, looked over at me, and I said, "You have a brilliant child. There is not too many kids of her age that can actually grasp what I just said." So I told her to try it on her dad, and she did it. He doesn't understand it, but she does. I believe there's a glimmer. I believe there's a passion in her that I showed her dad that she had. I challenge everybody today, be driven. Make a difference. Whatever your passions are. If Body Align isn't your passion, please find something that drives you. The endorphins, the energy, the passion that comes out when you're driven is beyond anything. Josh, thanks for being my right-hand man. Together we are conquering this world. Daniel, your leadership, your show me that it can be done is everything to me. And Peter, your guidance, your principle is my Bible, man. Thank you guys very much. Josh, let me turn it back to you to close this out today. Peter, any final words from you?
I think you're muted, Peter.
Yeah, okay. You really don't have to know technology to just accomplish so much. I don't want to do anything to lighten the words we just heard, so I'm excited, and now it's time to move. Thank you, Steve, Daniel, it's awesome. Josh, close us out.
Man, what can I say? Steve, I think I'm going to take the last 10 minutes. I'm going to edit it up, throw it on YouTube, and we're going to be the #1 motivational hit on YouTube in the next 2 weeks, I think, man, because that was a monster. It really was. And if everyone else wasn't impacted as much as I was impacted, and I could see Peter's face, Daniel, I could see your face, man, it's just huge what we're doing here. And if our distributors can just grasp 10% of what it is that we're doing here, guys, we're going to change the world. We really are. And I'm excited for everyone to be on the line watching this video with us today. Thanks very much. Dave Funk, see you in a few minutes, my friend. And for everyone else, you know what I'm talking about yesterday. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. All right, everyone, have an awesome afternoon, and we will speak to you all very, very soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, guys.